So I'm going to the Bible when I say this to my haters. F you.
When the accountants of the streets start cooking the crime ledger to protect a political bottom line, you aren't just looking at a clerical error. You are witnessing a systemic liquidation of the truth that threatens to leave the entire American social contract in a state of ethical insolvency.
Would I compromise my love for God, the faith that I had in the city? Never would I compromise my integrity. Never would I compromise 28 years in law enforcement for a few folk who couldn't stand to be held accountable. And if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it again.
Chief Smith appeared to be directing her remarks at the commanders who spoke to investigators with the House Oversight Committee.
How dare you! How dare you! How dare you! Attack my integrity! Attack my character! You don't know who I belong to! So I'm going to the Bible when I say this to my haters. F you. No, it's not a drop the mic moment. Watch me in this space.
As a certified public accountant and forensic auditor, I approach a municipal crisis like a distressed entity review, where the inventory public safety doesn't reconcile with the physical evidence, the bodies and the bullet holes. When the Metropolitan Police Department of our nation's capital decides to redact the reality of violence, to amortize the political cost of leadership, we have crossed a forensic Rubicon, where the data is no longer an asset, it is a fraudulent liability. We are documenting the moment where the bat signal of government transparency was replaced by a smoke and mirrors operation, proving that in the world of forensic verification, you cannot write off a murder or depreciate a mugging without the auditors, eventually finding the material discrepancy in the books.
Bowser warning of repercussions for top officers accused of faking crime stats. The police union is now calling the scandal corruption within the department. Bob Barnard has more on the fallout.
This is a scandal that has rocked the D.C. Police Department, angered leaders on Capitol Hill, and has D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser dealing with a crisis of confidence in a police department over which she has ultimate authority. At issue, the suspensions of 13 senior MPD officials accused in an alleged scheme to alter crime statistics in the city, to make the streets seem safer than they were and are. Through its own ongoing internal affairs investigation, the department is now in the process of trying to fire those 13 officials, serving them with paperwork to effect their terminations.
Everyone deserves to feel safe.
Including Executive Assistant Chief Andre Wright, placed on administrative leave a couple of months ago, an official who was often the face of MPD at crime scenes. Who ultimately ordered the crime stat revisions remains a mystery. Reaction now from D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and the president of the D.C. Police Union.
At some point, I guess MPD will talk about the categories of crime that experience changes. And what is going to be really key, and I suspect it's in all of these recommendations for termination, is if this is deliberate, if it is meant to make the official look good and not show what's actually happening, there are repercussions.
I am Camilo Mutato, and this is Camilo's House. In the world of forensic accounting, silence is often the most loud and toxic asset on the balance sheet, and right now, the silence coming out of Washington, D.C. is deafening. We are auditing the audit of deception currently playing out in the District of Columbia. We are analyzing the materiality of 13 senior police officials being fired for cooking the books, the operational default of Mayor Muriel Bowser's administration, and the regulatory friction where the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, has uncovered a systemic pattern of misclassification that reaches all the way to the top. This is the moment where the audit of truth meets the narrative of fake safety, and as your auditor of justice, I'm here to tell you, the receipts don't lie, even when the chief executive does. The operational trigger for this national crisis of confidence is the move by the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, MPD, to fire 13 senior officials, including the high-profile Executive Assistant Chief Andre Wright, for an alleged scheme to alter crime statistics. From an investigative standpoint, this is a material breach of internal controls. For years, we've been told that crime was trending down, but the forensic reality is that these white shirts were reportedly downgrading felonies to lesser charges to paint a pro forma picture of safety. In auditing terms, this is management fraud. When you take a robbery asset and re-index it as a larceny liability just to make your district portfolio look better for the mayor shareholder, you are liquidating the safety of the public to protect your own professional capital. A whistleblower audit conducted by News 4 extracted a portion of the internal affairs report that is absolutely harrowing. While the report found no direct documentary evidence that former Chief Pamela Smith ordered the manipulation, it certified a culture of fear and a fixation on stats as the primary driver for the fraud. Members interviewed cited retaliatory transfers and public denigrations as the market pressure that led them to knowingly engage in improper misclassification. As a CPA, I track the tone at the top. If the managing partner creates an environment where bad news, crime spikes, results in immediate impairment, getting fired, or the junior auditors, the officers, will always cook the ledger. This toxic management has liquidated the integrity of the MPD, leaving the public trust in a state of permanent receivership. Mayor Muriel Bowser, who holds ultimate authority over the MPD, is currently exiting the market by announcing she will not run for re-election. From a risk management perspective, this is a strategic liquidation. When your service providers, the police, are being indicted for fraud, and your audit trail is being subpoenaed by the House Oversight Committee, the best exit strategy is to divest before the final reconciliation. Donald Trump, scarcely 18 months into his new term, flagged this accounting error long ago, calling D.C. a hellhole with phony numbers. While he was lampooned for these forensic theories at the time, the current status of 13 terminations certifies his position. The Doge team, looking for waste, fraud, and abuse, has found that the stats weren't just off, they were engineered. We must also audit the historical performance of this deception. Sergeant Charlotte Jew, a 21-year veteran and verified whistleblower, disclosed as far back as 2019 that downgrading crimes was a standard operating procedure for the white shirts. She alleged that this has been going on for years, with the management acting complicitly to protect the mayor's brand. In the world of forensic verification, when a reporting deficiency is ignored for over 5 years, it becomes a systemic default. ANC Commissioner Selma Adopo has reconciled the alerts she receives with the official reports and certified that the data is untrustworthy. When the voter stakeholders can no longer verify the data, the entity, the city, is operationally insolvent. The closing entry of this drama was the resignation sermon of Chief Pamela Smith. In a high-volatility press conference, Smith hedged her reputation with a biblical narrative, claiming she would never compromise her integrity. She directed an aggressive MD and A management discussion at her haters, specifically the commanders who disclosed the fraud to the House Oversight Committee. Her drop-the-mic moment, where she used the Bible to tell her critics to F you, is a forensic indicator of a leader who has liquidated her professionalism, claiming Jesus on the ransom cross as a precedent for stat manipulation is a material misstatement of Scripture and a total breach of conduct. Is everything in this country fake? As a forensic auditor, my professional opinion is that we are in a state of national reporting default. From DC crime stats to election audits and net worth discrepancies, the internal controls of our public institutions have defaulted on their contract with the people. We live in a post-verification market, where the government treats the truth as a contingent asset that can be redacted at will. The D.C. crisis of confidence is the leading indicator that the real reality has been amortized to the point of non-existence. The frugality and integrity that should be fixed assets in our capital are currently in arrears. Until the audit of every hotspot is verified by an independent third party, the crime growth will remain understated, while the social cost remains over-leveraged. Mayor Bowser is running, Chief Smith is sermonizing, and the 13 officers are liquidating. The fix was in, but the audit has finally closed. I want to hear from you. Is the DC stat manipulation a material act of corruption? Or is it just sound narrative management for a distressed city? Should Chief Pamela Smith's FU sermon be restated as a total ethics default? Let me know in the comments. Your perspective is the only audit that matters when the solvency of your safety and the integrity of your government are sitting on the negotiation table. I am Camilo Motado, and this is Camilo's House. Subscribe to stay informed on the numbers, the laws, and the truth behind the headlines. Stay safe.